nice sea breezes. It's often 10 degrees lower on a summer's day.
Dun, 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 dun. What day are we up to? Gotta get this all done in one day. It's gonna take a while. Alright, how we are. We're up to June 10th in, which is Driving with Adam in Koyasan and the Capsule Hotel. At least that's what I've titled it. When I say Driving with Adam, I mean he's in the passenger seat. Dad was driving. So let's kick on with it. So it's the last day with Adam. Again, thank you to Adam and Mickey for letting us stay at your place for a few days. It's very nice of you, very generous. Early morning with free trains, to get to the location where we need to pick up our first rental car. So here's a video of our first rental car, I think. I'll show it now, might as well. Hi. Guys are talking in Japanese again.
So there's a home button, so...
It was actually one of those cute box cars which you see all over the place, and you're like, how the hell do people fit in there? The trick is, there's bloody bugger all of a boot, but at the same time, the inside is actually rather spacious, so it seems impossible, but it exists, and it's really fun. So Dad drove whilst Adam explained what certain Japanese details meant with the GPS and whatnot, and we just drove right out of there with the obviously with the permission to drive and whatever. We'd already we hadn't paid fully for the rental. We'd signed up or something for it months in advance or whatever, so it didn't really matter. So yeah, I sat in the back seat and actually decided to sleep a lot through the highways and city streets because I'm like, well, there's nothing really to look at, nothing really to film. I've seen all this stuff before, and I didn't want to get myself too nauseous too because this is like the first time I was actually in a proper car, given that I'd only been in a bus, a train, and a boat and a plane. So yeah, I woke up on a street in a very open area. So I mean, I'm still in the car, of course. I've got footage of it actually. It appeared that we were headed up a mountain area, which is pretty cool. I like getting into the more nature strip areas of Japan. Adam does too, actually, which is really nice. I didn't actually know where we were going that day, so that was fun. But I did find out that apparently the plans were changed, because while we were driving, apparently they, on the GPS, said like, oh, it'll take you 5 hours to get to this location, which is the location that we wanted to go to. Well, I should say Dad wanted to go to, because I did not know what the hell the plans were for the day. It was like the only day of the whole entire trip that I didn't know where we were actually going. I didn't even ask the day beforehand. Most days I asked the day beforehand. And apparently we went to go to this waterfall thing, but we'd actually, because we'd gone to Keegan Falls the week before, we were kind of okay with not going to it, so they decided that instead of a 5.5 hour drive, they'd go 2.5 hours to a place that Adam had been to before, and so we drove that way instead, hence when I woke up, and I was like, okay, I don't know where we are. Yeah, so we drove up a road, surrounded by forest until we stopped at a store. I bought a hot can of coffee from a vending machine. Unfortunately, not a Georgia, but apparently it was one that Mum had actually bought when Dad and her had gone. It was either a year ago or 4 years ago, but they had bought that hot coffee before, that same hot coffee. Dad doesn't drink coffee, I do, so I quite relished it. It was nice, very nice. And Adam in the store actually bought some sweets. They were like these kind of apricot custard biscuits. They were very nice. I can't remember what they were called. And we actually ran into two old ladies, which I haven't actually written here. But there were two old ladies there who, I don't think they worked at the store, I think they just lived nearby it, who ran into Dad and Adam while I was at the vending machine, so I didn't catch the start of the conversation. But apparently they like started asking questions about like, oh, you know, I think they only spoke in Japanese, but I can't, I don't know because again I wasn't there at the start of it. But they got to talking with Adam about how Dad and myself and Adam were all from Australia and whatever, and Adam lived in Japan with his wife and whatever, and all this and all that, and it was all quite fun to watch. I had no idea what was really going on, but I was like, okay, cool, just people, because they're like that, especially like I'd say older people in particular, but there are a lot of people in Japan who like testing out their English, but also they like knowing why people are coming to their countries, to their country, I should say, and it's quite nice. And it's very welcoming of them as well. Like, oh, I hope you have a good time in our country, kind of stuff. It's very nice. I mean, these aren't even like the tourists people. These are just actual people who just do normal things there. Yeah, so it was nice. We had lunch in the car, and I actually had a hot dog. It's like an American hot dog I'd bought for breakfast at like 7-Eleven. And that's when Dad explained that the trip would have taken too long to get to the waterfall, but I was like, okay, I didn't even know we were going to a waterfall. So we decided to go to Koyasan instead. So we continued our drive into Koyasan. Finally, after many winding roads, with a lot of beautiful forestry. I think this was also the same kind of trees that I really liked. We then parked at a temple that had mostly been reconstructed, at least like the front gate in particular had been reconstructed. There's a lot of signs of those as well, so there's like going to be images on screen of the signs that I took video of that detailed reconstruction efforts. So now you add in the creepy music in post, and then there was actually also a documentary film crew who were there. I believe it was, at least. It didn't really stipulate, of course, but it seemed like they were documenting or doing a news report on this temple area. No photography. I captured a little bit of footage of it, not the best footage. But they had, two like people there saying, "Oh, no photography and whatever. I can't take pictures of the people as they're filming," which is, I guess fair enough. And we saw them actually. One of the temple buildings had this kind of like circular device that went all the way around the building, and the guy was just like pushing on it and just went around making these dinging noises, with the people talking to him at the same time. I don't know what it was all about. I think it may have been some kind of ritual thing that he was talking about. It was actually I think it was a monk, if I'm not wrong, that was actually showing them, what each part of the temple meant. So that was interesting to see. And then they disappeared, and we just kept walking. It's the spooky air forest. It's telling us to go away.
Yeah, usually in country towns they have things like this, speakers that will tell you what time it is, or if there's a special announcement or something.
That's fair enough. Well, at least I got your explanation explaining what it was. Now translate it for me.
I have no idea.
So after some mild exploring of all the different types of buildings that they had there, we eventually headed into town.
What's this, sorry?
They have a building that's important. Esoteric Buddhism.
Yes. I think I've got a bit of material to practice reading with.
We mostly participated in window shopping here. However, I found a Ghibli store, which was interesting. I don't know if it's Ghibli or Ghibli, so I apologize if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. But yeah, so I actually bought a Totoro plushie there, which is weird, given that we had already been to the Ghibli Museum the week beforehand, and I hadn't actually bought the Totoro plushie there. But they didn't, to my knowledge, they didn't actually have any there. But what I got there was fine. The keychain and the No Face figure was perfectly fine. But yeah, so they had a whole bunch of plushies. They had Totoro ones, they had Spirited Away ones, all kinds of ones. They had those minifigure boxes all over again. And I was gonna get a Totoro one, but nothing was really overly interesting. But I'm also like, well, if I'm getting a plushie, which is like 1,100 yen, so I was like, oh, it's about $11, $12. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just get that instead. So I was content with it, and I bought that, which was nice. And in a later store, I actually bought a phone charm of a kind of a town mascot with a paintbrush. I'll show you here, as he is actually a part of my phone. That is him there. If it'll focus, it will. There he is. So as you can see, he's got the paintbrush on him. On the back, it had some writing as well. So yeah, paintbrush with the writing. They had multiple versions of him. They had some 3D ones as well. One of them, again, there were some 2D ones. Ones where he just had like his hands to his waist, and there was one where he was holding some kind of carving tool, which I think was like what they used to carve the names into stone. I don't know who he was. Like, there was no sign or anything explaining who he was, but I figured, hey, he's cute and like he's a phone charm. I'll get him for my phone, and I like him. I think he's definitely good. But what do you think of my Godzilla T-shirt? It's 1954 Godzilla poster. It's the first T-shirt I bought in Tokyo. Okay, cool. We then continued to walk until we reached a graveyard in a cedar forest. Again, cedars being my favourite tree in Japan. There were thousands of headstones and memorials, including one for Aussie soldiers. There was also one for, I think, the fallen children in a... I can't remember what it was. It was like some kind of like aircraft memorial thing for like the really young pilots who had died in flights or something. But yeah, so that was the really tall white one. But then they had the Australian one as well, which had a lot of the Australian koalas. Some of them are very faded, so obviously it had been there for a while. The graveyard ended in a temple. We walked back. There wasn't much to the temple. You walked in, you saw some monks in there selling you stuff, actually. We walked around it, but there was nothing really interesting to film. It was just more graves and stuff. I don't know who the temple was for, but I guess it was just kind of this contract of the whole graveyard thing, which is cool. So we ended up walking back through the graveyard to the car, and then we had lunch. I think I had something cool for lunch, but I cannot remember. It was just like 7-Eleven stuff. I think it was, again, just a sandwich thing, but I also had like a Snickers as well and Pocky. You know, you guys know Pocky. Of course you know Pocky. It's the sticks with chocolate on it. It's great. Wasn't the first time we had Pocky, but it was just like the only real notable time that wasn't just we had Pocky in a train. Yeah. But yeah, I had a Snickers there. I don't know why I find it interesting. I was just like, oh look, Snickers. I bought a bar. It's just like it's nice. I don't know. Anyway, we then drove for the next 2.5 hours through various locations. Some I think I may have slept through. I don't know. There was a tunnel that Dad and Adam had mentioned on the way to Koyasan when we'd stopped off the first time at the when I got the coffee. They said that there was actually like a 4 kilometer long tunnel that we'd gone through, and so I was expecting to go through that tunnel again and film it, but in fact we went through multiple small tunnels, and then we were in a completely different route entirely back to Osaka, which was kind of I'd say it was annoying, but at the same time it's like I mean okay cool. We got into these really tight small streets that the GPS was like, oh, you have to go for this very, very, very small street to, get to the other side. And we managed to get through it. It was very steep and very small. I don't know if I filmed any of it. I might have. But for the most part, it was like anxiety inducing. Like, right, there was like, okay, we're going through this. I don't know how we're going to get there. Luckily, I wasn't driving. And there was also a bug on the windscreen. There's a bug on the windscreen for like the next hour and a half of the trip. I don't know what it was because I couldn't get footage of it because every time I tried to zoom into it, it kept going out of focus. It was just some kind of weird grass bug with like really long legs. I just kept walking all over the window and stuff. So that was amusing. Yeah. So yeah, we ended up getting back to the car depot and dropped off the car, and then headed back to Adams. That's where we packed and said our goodbyes. And we went to the Capsule Hotel. So we took a 2 trains, I believe it was, may have just been one, into the center of Osaka, and went and found, after getting very confused at the train station because we didn't know where we were going exactly. We thought we did, but then we went the wrong way. But we found where all like the shops were and stuff, so I was like, okay, cool, we know how to get dinner now. We went to the Capsule Hotel, put our stuff away. Who's there? Go away, Sam. I'm almost finished filming. 1 video with like 8 more to go. Hello, Snoopy. You're not meant to be in here. Hello, Snoopy. Is it raining outside? Yes, it is. I kind of question if this mic can pick it up. It doesn't matter. Hello, doggo. Do you want to come up here? Come on. Yay, more views. It's a dog's butt. Good doggo. Very attractive. Yeah, but we got to the Capsule Hotel, which I got some video and images of here. And we spent there the rest of the night. Actually, it was really cool because they had these very special lockers, and they had like bike locks where you could tie them onto really big bags. Because even though they had really tall lockers, they were rather thin. But they provided you with so much stuff. They provided you with a whole bag, which came with a robe. It came with pajamas, which were really cool pajamas. I didn't get. It was just actually just long sleeve and long pant pajamas. But they were nice material. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep any of it. But they gave us that. They gave us the tooth. Most hotels and even ryokans give you a toothbrush. and toothpaste. So we got a good amount of stuff. They had isolated. Each floor was an isolated different floor for different people. So one floor was for men, one floor was for women, and so on and so forth. Because as you can see, it's a very open area. So if you go in there as a romantic couple, good luck sleeping in the same room, because there are no rooms, they're capsules, and they're on each floor, and you have to be segregated. That's just how it works. But yeah, no, it was nice. There was a weird buzzing sound for the first half an hour that I was trying to get to sleep. I think someone came in and fixed it, and then I fell asleep, and it was nice. It was a small pod area. It was quite wide, actually. Like, I could sit up like this, like, it went all the way to, like, the top of my head, almost, so I didn't have to, like, cower or anything. It was quite nice. I could sit cross-legged or with my legs out. There was, like, a few ports up the top where I could, plug in chargers or whatever, so I could still charge my phone and the internet modem. But yeah, no, and unfortunately Dad said there were two types of capsule hotels. One's where they have, like, a plastic door that closes, and kind of seals you in. It's more of, like, a bit more mausoleum type, and a bit kind of scarier. But then there's also the one that we had, which is just a curtain. So you just pull the curtain over. The only problem with the curtain is that you can still see the light that comes from the hallway. So I ended up having to put one of the small hand towels that they provided us, because you get a big towel to shower with, and you get a small hand towel to, when you wash your face. Well, it's not exactly, you don't use it to wash your face, you use it to dry your face after you've done your teeth and stuff like that. So I put that on my face when I slept. So yeah, that made it easier. So that night for dinner we had gyoza 551, which I don't remember. We had these little pork. I hope I have pictures of it. I can't remember what it was called, but we had pork buns the previous week, and then we had this one, and I also had a cinnamon bun for dessert from a different place, and we actually ate it at Macca's, because I was like, oh, let's go to Macca's so we can sit somewhere, because there was nowhere to sit. And it was like, yeah, okay, we'll sit here at Macca's, and we bought like a Coke each, or Fanta or whatever, and once we ate, we went back to the hotel, and then we slept, and it was nice. And that's the end of that. Next episode, Miyajima Island. Next part, I don't know, because this recording's already gone for 20 minutes, so next part is Miyajima Island. So yeah, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I hope there have been, like, no complaints as to how I'm recording this stuff, because honestly, I'm doing it all in 1 week, and I'm not releasing any of it until July, and it's currently June, because I have to get back to work next week, so I've got, like, hardly any time to film this stuff. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. There's only a few days left. This is, June, I think this is June 10th? Well, yeah, we're up to, June 11th is tomorrow, so we're almost done. Good boy. You can't even really see him. He's here. Bye.
No, it's nearly full because